Okay, good morning everybody. I do hope you can all hear me. I don't have the greatest projection on my voice, so I hope everyone can hear clearly. What I'm going to talk about here is what A-levels are, for those of you who may not be aware. Some of you may, some of you may not. What it's like in the sixth form and the study that we provide here at ISM, and then how we support with university applications at the end. Now, in terms of what the sixth form is, it is the final 2 years of the UK education system, building on top of your GCSEs or your IGCSEs, and then the final steps before going off to university. In terms of what they are an internationally recognized qualification, and they are 2-year courses. Now, Mr. McLaughlin talked about the grading system at GCSE. There are no more numbers at A-level. It is purely A star to E. The majority of subjects that we offer are divided into 2 parts. They have an examination at the end of the first year, that's in year 12, and that's called an AS examination. And that represents, in most cases, 50% of the full A-level. The second half of the A-level is then taken in year 13, and that completes the full A-level with the A2 examinations. For a small number of subjects, they run purely as 2-year courses, and in those cases, all the assessments take place at the end of year 13. I think the only subjects that we do that with are art and Russian. All of the assessments or the examinations are marked by the external examination boards that Mr. Smith mentioned. There are some subjects which may have coursework or a controlled assessment element. That might take place in year 12, it might take place in year 13, it might take place across the whole of the A-level course. Now, all grades are a pass, but obviously you want to get the best grade possible, and that will then open up more doors when it comes to university applications. I'd also like to highlight this point here, that performance in year 12 is really important, because that then forms the basis of predicted grades from which you will then look for university applications. A year 12 student will typically take 4 subjects at A-level, and there are no compulsory subjects. And I'll show you in a moment the subjects we offer. Usually year 13 students will then drop that down to 3, because 3 is all that's really required for university applications. You'll have 10 lessons over a 2-week period. Now, I'll mention about study periods and PSHE a little bit later. We also offer non-assessed PE. We have our after-school activities program, which is really important when it comes to university applications, as is the leadership opportunities and volunteering we offer. We have our head boy and head girl here, and they do an awful lot around the school, not only themselves, but also with the sixth form committee in terms of driving a lot of events, a lot of the mentoring that goes on around the school, charity, and a lot of the sporting events. So they get themselves involved in school life, and all sixth formers we encourage to do that as well. We also have our Duke of Edinburgh Award run by Mr. Clee. The subjects that we have available is a wide range. I'll just leave that there for you. It speaks for itself. And here is just an at-a-glance indication of some of the typical requirements of A-level subjects for particular university courses. Some of these may be compulsory, and some of them may be advised that you take. So what you will notice if you are currently an A-level parent or an A-level student, and if you're not at the moment, it will be a huge difference between GCSEs and what you've experienced at Key Stage 3 and Key Stage 2. For the first time in their learning careers, students have study periods or free time. Well, they're not really free time for reasons I'll outline in a moment. Reading around the subject and spending, we advise, about 30 minutes to 1 hour per lesson is essential for success. As a history teacher, as Leela mentioned, I will say that you will not get an A star in history unless you are spending that time reading around the subject, doing the extra reading needed, because the A-level courses are a lot of detail. We go into a lot of, they're very intense, a lot of depth far more than GCSE. And this is why you only study 4 subjects, because it is really going into a lot of detail about those 4 chosen subjects. So what we're doing in the sixth form is preparing students for not just for A-level study, for examinations, but for life beyond the sixth form. As it says there, I like to think of us providing a bridge between traditional school, where everything's regimented, and then having that complete freedom at university. And that's why we give certain privileges to sixth formers that other students don't get. They have a common room, which I'm sure they'll agree they enjoy the use of the facilities there. But with that comes great responsibility, and it's important that they understand that they are role models, and many of them are on a daily basis. Our PSHE program is also geared around preparing students not only for the academic skills that they need to survive at university, but also the life skills that they'll need to survive beyond school. Now, there are our A-level results for the cohort that's just left in 2024, and we're obviously very proud of those results. And if you've on our Telegram channel, you'll have seen how these compare with UK statistics. And here is a list of some of the universities we've sent students to over the years. That's not a completely exhaustive list of universities. And if you want to have a look at the wall as you leave the school today, you'll see the alumni wall, where all of our students who've left the school have gone on to the various destinations around the world. A lot of them to the UK, but we also have the US, Korea, Netherlands as well. In terms of the provision of support that we provide in the sixth form to help students, now the universities that you'll choose and that you'll want to think about will obviously be a personal choice. Many things will go into that choice, from the country, the destination, the university type, visa requirements, fees. All of these things will be very important considerations, and we help students. We have those conversations about what we can help them with in terms of applications. We support them with the navigating the application processes. We provide a lot of support with personal statements, with Common App applications for the United States, CVs if they're applying to European universities, and any other documentation that they need to provide. We also provide the required documents that the school is required to support students with, such as transcripts, references, letters of confirmation of studies, and those sort of things. Don't forget also all of the extra leadership and extracurricular activities that we provide, which are all part of what would make a very good application to a university. And I would say this is a vast amount of my personal time is spent having one-to-one meetings with students to support them with this process. I'm just going to go through 3 case study examples of students who left in the summer. And these 3 are 3 of our typical university destinations. So if you've been following our Telegram channel, you'll have seen these pop up from our marketing department. We have Lev. Lev went to the UK, and we supported him with his UCAS application, his personal statement. He did a lot of extracurricular work around the school, and he was head of the student council. That was one of the many things that he did. We have Alessandro. Alessandro went to the United States, and we supported him with his many essays that he was writing, as well as the many references that are required for the US. I think it's worth mentioning at this point that if the US is a destination you're interested in, it is an awful lot more work than many other destinations in terms of the essay writing that's required and the references that are needed for that. My final case study example is Valeria. This is possibly one of the most organized people I've ever met. Really a superb case study in how to prepare and plan their university application process. She went to Amsterdam. We supported her primarily with the documents that she needed, but also with her CV preparation. So from these 3 examples, I'm just trying to give you a picture of the many different documents that are needed for different destinations. Before I finish off, I just want to leave you with this particular quote. We can get very focused on destinations and university types, but in the end, in the final analysis, it's the course that's right for your child that matters. And I think what we do very well is having those conversations, and the support that we provide to students is allow them to go to universities that suit their needs. Now, the next steps will obviously depend very heavily on where your child is in their school career. If you are a primary parent or you're in year 7 or 8, then my advice to you right now is simply to focus on doing the best that you can do on a daily basis. So having that hard work, the right attitude, engaging in what we provide in terms of extracurriculars. As Mr. McLaughlin mentioned, we do have reports going out, and at this stage, we'd hope that your effort grades would be at least a B, if not an A for excellent for effort. Once you get to year 9, that's where you need to really start thinking about GCSE options, as Mr. McLaughlin went over earlier. By year 10 and year 11, this is where you really need to start thinking about your Key Stage 5 options, what you want to study at A level. I also would advise that if you're not by that point already involved in extracurricular activities, do get involved in wider school life, get involved in the charity committees and many other committees that are that work around the school. By year 12, we would then really start encouraging you to look in earnest at university destinations. We do start the application processes in term 2, so shortly after they do their mocks in January. Also here, we have some key resources that will be very helpful when it comes down to making choices about universities and where you want to go. We do use a tool called Unifrog, which is an incredibly useful tool, a piece of software. And if your child does not have a login for that, then please do get in touch with me, or get your child to get in touch with me, and we'll sort that out. All students should have a login for Unifrog. It's an amazing tool for searching university courses. It's also very useful for finding out about yourself, has self-assessment questionnaires that will help you find out what kind of courses you may be suited to. We obviously have our current Key Stage 5 students, who are a great resource for telling you what life is like in the sixth form and about the application processes to universities. There's teachers themselves. If I want to know how to do a maths degree, I think Mr. McLaughlin, for example, would be an obvious resource, and I would go and speak to him. So do find out what degrees teachers have done and speak to them in terms of their specialisms. And obviously myself and the sixth form team, we have Mr. Gammon, who's also the careers advisor. He's also very helpful in terms of supporting students with what they want to study at university. Ms. Rissick and Ms. Gladden are the other members of the sixth form team.